Hi, Julia. It's great to meet you in person. We've been interacting over emails. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, our pleasure. Let's dive in.
Awesome. So Julie, we have like 5 slides to set the table for who we are and what we do, and then we'll use the balance and bulk of our time for the demo to show you the platform. Aviso is a 9-year-old company. Aviso is an AI revenue intelligence platform that does a few basic things. We do predictions. We do guided selling that leads to increased win rates, increased productivity, and it also leads to lower cost and a better user experience by eliminating single point solutions. And we also help our clients, like Honeywell, eliminate CRM costs that was highlighted in HBR white paper. We were excited last year to be recognized by Forrester as the capabilities leader in the revenue intelligence space. And we work with hundreds of customers. We work with large companies like a Honeywell, a Lenovo, a NetApp, fast-growing companies like Wiz and Ironclad, and middle-of-the-road spectrum companies like RingCentral and BMC Software. We see the world from an enterprise autonomy level, 5 levels: basic RPA, agentic workflows, co-pilots, and AI agents, a composition and coaching, and then the fully autonomous enterprise, which we don't believe we're there yet. But Aviso helps guide our clients through these first 4 levels of enterprise autonomy. So how do we do that? We do that through our unique API-first architecture that allows Aviso to act as an AI brain for our clients and an AI operating system for your enterprise. Fundamentally, we unlock value in IP that resides in structured and unstructured data and systems. This includes insights, persona-specific workflows, guidance, predictions, and the ability just to talk to data in natural language. The value prop is, how can you get that new employee fresh out of school, as productive and as intelligent and as proficient as somebody with 15 to 20 years of enterprise experience? Just to quickly highlight a couple of our clients, as I mentioned, HBR did a white paper on Honeywell last year. Our AI helped drive more sales. They had won $150 million in incremental revenue, but we also helped them reduce costs by eliminating CRM spend for licenses that weren't needed. Wiz is another one of our clients. When we first started working with them a year ago, Google tried to buy them. Their valuation was $23 billion. A year later with us, it moved to $32 billion. We helped them with increased win rates, increased productivity. And now I want to turn it over to Bharat to show you the platform.
All right.
Thank you, David. So with that, I'm going to transition to showing you some of our capabilities, Julia. As David mentioned, Aviso provides you with an AI brain that provides some tremendous capabilities through avatars and AI agents. Let me know if you can see my screen okay.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So I'll start by demonstrating some of the AI agents that are embedded in the platform, Julia. So as an example, when you go in as an AE, you could be a new AE who's just started on the job. You could be somebody who's coming up to speed. And the idea behind these AI agents and these experiences to provide AEs and new folks the ability to ramp quickly and generate revenue quickly. So here, I'm going to show you some ways to interact with Aviso's AI agents. One of the ways in which you can interact with the AI agents is by, let's say I'm a new AE and I work within the esports sector, right? So let's say my focus is esports. I've just been hired. I haven't come up to speed and I don't have the ability to engage a technical person on the call with me. I'm not getting the help I need. I need either a CSM or an SC for me to help with the call, but I don't have that ability. But I can engage with this AI agent, which is embedded within Aviso, and I can start asking questions off of this AI agent, right? So I can actually, while I'm on the call with the customer, I can ask questions like, hey, what are the offerings that we provide? And the example we have here is Cisco. So this particular AI agent is trained on Cisco's data, as an example. So this AI agent is modeling, and our models are running with Cisco's data that is publicly available. to show this demonstration. So I'm going to say, hey, I'm on a call with a customer. I need to understand what are the offerings that we provide under esports and entertainment. The AI agent is actually analyzing all the data, all the models to provide me with a very specific answer about the fact that Cisco provides a range of products around esports and entertainment initiatives. And then there are different families of products, including routing, switching, data center, wireless. And I can ask these questions through audio. I can do this through a pre-baked set of questions that are available here as well. The next question I'll ask is, hey, what are the sub products that are available under esports? And these questions can also, Julia, be asked from a real live avatar. That avatar actually is not working with your Zoom, which we wanted to show live. So I'm showing it to you in a chat interface, if you will. But in this example, it'll come back with very detailed information on the sub products within esports that are applicable. And I could keep on asking detailed questions about these sub products. For example, I could say, hey, could you elaborate more on the 5G LTE for gaming? And, so you can just sort of, and the point is, you don't have to know all the products as a new hire. You don't have to come up to speed on all the capabilities. You can just engage with these AI agents that can make you productive and help you generate revenue very quickly. You could then say, hey, so this is providing you with very specific information on the public LTE option that is available. And again, it's tapping into all sales enablement collateral that might be available, all the materials that are in product knowledge documents that a technical person would generally go into. So there's no need for you to go into Slack and interact with multiple people. You actually have all the information you need here in one place. You could kind of drill into information about competitor stuff, right? So you could say, hey, how do our product compare to Juniper? Because I'm getting a question where the prospect is evaluating another competitor, and Cisco competes with Juniper. So the agents here would actually go behind the scenes and show specifically in which situations, which is low latency situations, Cisco stands out compared to Juniper in these fashions, and it's comparing product line items. It's comparing very specific detail, product information, and you could just keep on going. You could ask any open-ended question about cost, about very specific products. Like I could just pick any of the output it's provided me, and I could ask detailed questions about that, and I could just keep on going. And that's the idea, is to provide these agents. These are also available as avatars. The other way to navigate through Aviso is to actually look at the summary that Aviso generates. Our AI agent framework generates a summary for every individual in the organization. So it could be an AE, it could be a BDR, it could be a first-line manager. In this example, I'm going in as a chief revenue officer who wants to plan the week out. I need some recommendations on where to focus because I have hundreds of things looking to catch my attention. So I'll actually look at the summary that this agent has generated for me.
Hello, John. As you are getting ready for the week to start, here are the key areas of focus based on my analysis. Firstly, congratulations on being on target to reach your quota. Aviso AI predicts that you'll exceed your quota of $83.3 million and achieve a whopping $105 million. That's fantastic news. Your overall Americas bookings are 18% below historical pacing to meet quota. Ted Williams is above pace and has a big deal at Voipa that is not in commit or upside deals. The commit pipeline has decreased from $37 million to $35 million over the past week for Americas. Most of that drop came from Southwest team, and overall, the pipeline has reduced by $22 million. It's recommended that a detailed review of the pipeline be conducted to identify the root cause. There are a total of $12 million worth of deals at risk and $20 million in upside. However, we should focus on pull-in deals worth $2.7 million. Now let's do a quick review of customer calls that happened over last week. Top competitor mentions were Google, AWS, Azure, and the top negative aspects during the calls were span, feature, integrations, visibility, documentation. For a detailed summary, please check the weekly digest in the notification section of Miki, your chief of staff. Thank you.
So again, it's bringing a summary of information. It's not giving you news about what happened last week, but it's saying here are the three things you need to focus on. It also provides you with actionable notifications. So the same weekly summary is available here, and you can certainly drill into that. If I was an AE who's focused on the quarter, it's going to give me very specific ways to increase engagement on accounts, take actions. So these are actionable notifications that are embedded. It's going to prompt me. This AI agent will prompt me for when would I like to set a meeting, and I could basically provide that information, and through integration with Google Calendar or whatever the platform is for our customers of our choice, it'll actually set the meeting up, generate a meeting brief based on the customer's history. So think about efficiency and productivity in terms of providing all these things for you and doing these tasks for you. So these AI agents will actually do the work for you. The other way to interact with these agents is by asking questions. So I could ask, if I was a chief revenue officer, this agent will automatically populate questions for me based on the type of questions I might be looking to get answered. If I'm an AE, the questions could be more about, hey, update the CRM for me. What's happening with my deal? Change the forecast for these 10 deals within my commercial segment, right? So any insight available within Aviso as an AI revenue operating system are also available within this agent. I could ask questions like, how does my pipeline look like for next quarter? That's the pipeline for next quarter. I could even focus on current quarter pipeline. How does my pipeline look like for current quarter? So it'll give me very detailed insights on pipeline for the current quarter based on coverage, quality, spread, maturity, and multiple metrics, right? So you can interact with the application and system in this fashion. Some folks prefer this. Some folks prefer an avatar where you can have a real-time conversation with the avatar. But think of this as a conversational interface. And if you're in an AE, you can ask it to update deals, change stages. The other part of the Aviso agentic framework are digital twins. A lot of our customers want to have their A plus players be replicated. And as businesses grow, how do you take your A plus players and make them available across the board? So if you have an RVP, for example, in EMEA, and that person in Benelux is a heavy hitter, but you want their insights available to everybody in the organization, Aviso's AI agent framework can help you do that, right? Because we can feed all the information about that person, all the calls they've done, the way they coach their teams, the way they operate with the customer, the way they interact over emails. We can feed all of the knowledge set and IP that is customer's IP vis-a-vis emails, calls to these agents, and they will then make that agent available for any rep in that organization. So that RVP could be a personal coach available through this AI agent for anybody to ask questions. So in this example, we've trained this AI agent using data from our CEO, Trevor Templar. And now you can ask any question of this agent on how to talk about Aviso in terms of its value proposition. How is Aviso an AI revenue operating system? How is Aviso helping massive customers like NetApp, Lenovo, Wiz, which is a massive company that got acquired by Google, and how did Aviso provide ROI for Wiz pretty quickly, which helped them beat their numbers and grow quickly. So those are some high-level capabilities that are available within Aviso's AI agentic framework. Some other things I would quickly highlight to you are things like cadences. So think of cadences as playbooks. So every organization has processes they follow in the go-to-market team based on which week of the quarter they're in. Folks might be focused in week 1, 2, and 3 on generating pipeline. All those best practices tend to vary by organization, by segment. But Aviso basically takes all of those best practices, and think of this as a cheat sheet. We provide all those best practices and playbooks embedded within Aviso as a product. A lot of our competitors provide these things as services offerings where you can bring in an SI or a GSI and spend 6 months with them to implement. But in our case, these things are embedded in our product. So in this example, I'm going as a first line manager, Olivia, right? Depending on where Olivia is in the quarter, what she will see around looking at her business. So first of all, she's getting a macro level view based on where her business is, where her team is. She can go into different sections of the application and she could say, hey, I really want to focus on slip deals and understand engagement levels on those deals. Engagement levels being information available through email calendar information on how the prospects are reacting on these deals to the work that the team is doing. So this AI agent will basically provide her with that proactively. And the information she gets is real time. It's based on her team, and it's based on the AI models and all the deep ML capabilities Aviso has. She could even focus on pipeline trends and forecast accuracy. If it's week 12 of the week 11 of the quarter, and she's focused on customer renewal and she's worried about retention risk because that's what the company is looking at, then she will automatically be guided in that direction. Is how do you look at the overall retention risk? How do you avoid retention risk for certain accounts because renewals are coming up? So think of this, especially in the world of workflows which are getting static. Aviso provides these dynamic workflows that automatically adjust based upon the persona, based upon the person, and based upon where they are in the quarter. So these things automatically adjust because now we have LLMs, we have machine learning, and in Aviso's case, all these things work through our AI brain that David talked about in an autonomous fashion. We only work with a particular customer's data. We don't mix data. We don't use large language models like ChatGPT that others do. Our approach is compliance centric. We just work with customers' data in a single tenant environment, and we use very specialized LLMs, small selective models, which give us the same performance specific to that customer's data, but models are picks and shovels for us. So all of this is happening while we're leveraging the right models for the right task. And Aviso's agent framework picks the right models for the right task. And we are cutting edge. We've tried out the latest models that come out from any of the companies like Meta or Anthropic or others, and our data science teams are second to none in the industry. So that's what you're looking at is this notion of cadences, which are playbooks and cheat sheets available to different individuals. And what gets surfaced to a CRO would be different. What gets surfaced to a second line manager or a director would be different. We also have these AI agents available by personas. Some of our larger customers are saying, hey, we want these segmented by personas because what an enterprise rep does is different from what a commercial rep does. So as a commercial rep, you might be looking at personalization and outreach. And in this example, because the days of bulk email and mass outreach are gone, messages need to be personalized. And so in this example, if a commercial rep wants to build pipeline and they want to reach into their specific accounts, they can reach into these accounts in a personalized fashion because we're integrated with LinkedIn. So before this rep reaches out, they can get insights on the person they're actually reaching out to. So Aviso's AI agents will provide very deep analysis around this person's personality and also provide recommendations on do's and don'ts in communicating with Sarah in this example. They'll also generate emails for the rep or the BDR or the SDR, right? So they'll generate PowerPoints, they'll generate conversation starters, and so just to make the conversation more personalized. And we get the feedback all the time because we model this for prospects we're working with, that it's freaky because it's quite accurate. So this is going to provide some options for the rep to copy and paste here. And the idea is not to provide you 100% accurate email. The idea is to give you something that is there 80% of the times, right? So that's the idea. And you can actually leverage Aviso's capabilities by adding all these individual personalized contacts into a sequence through our sales engagement capability, because Aviso has an end-to-end platform for AI ops and revenue ops. And these sequences can be email, SMS messages, phone calls, and LinkedIn. And you can actually personalize these. In some organizations, managers personalize the emails, but there are AI sequences that get generated, and then you can execute those sequences using a virtual SDR. The SDR will actually execute the sequence for you. I know it sounds freaky, but the SDR will then bring the most qualified leads to you and show you where they are on the overall journey, and also provide you with very specific messaging vis-a-vis how you can work with those specific leads who are slightly more mature. If you look at what an enterprise AE does, they may be looking to do account planning. And a lot of customers are asking us, hey, we want our reps to do account planning. We want them to be accountable for those account plans, but how do we provide them some automation and intelligence? Because account planning is a motion that every customer wants to do. So this particular AI agent is an example of a multi-agent agent that actually orchestrates multiple sub-agents, analyzes news sources, earnings calls through Aviso's models and prompt engineering, 10K reports. If it's an existing customer, we analyze all the emails that are available from the team to show you where the account really stands. If you have access to conversations through our conversational intelligence module, we analyze all the calls, show you where different personas are in that account and what you need to focus on. And based on your product lines, this particular AI agent generates a value hypothesis and how to target that account. And it actually generates a pretty sophisticated account plan for you. And we get this feedback all the time that customers want to deploy this is amazing. It does take a few minutes. Right now, this was cached in the demo, but it's a lot better than reps spending 24 hours or a week or 2 weeks of time. So if you look at this fairly sophisticated account plan with almost 9 to 10 different sub agents that this agent is actually coordinating, right? So that is an example of one particular process for an enterprise A. You can do things like activate the team around an account plan. You can do health checks on accounts. All of those are available by personas. And finally, I'll show you one more thing, which is we have hundreds of horizontal capabilities available as AI agents, where a CRM may want to look at path to plan. How do I get to my number this quarter by pulling in deals from next quarter that are within a certain range that may not be in commit? Maybe I can put some incentives in place to drive towards that number. There are AI agents for reaching out to executives in your target companies by using messages from the likes of Simon Sinek and others, thought leadership messages. There are agents for responding to RFPs, doing research on companies that may or may not be public, and such. And again, these are completely configurable agents, right? So our customers, generally speaking, enterprise customers get what they get with the product, but they like to customize it and configure it for their business. So it's very common for us to see our customers configure these agents and change these agents. And one final thing I'll show you is that we have these AI agents embedded throughout the product. So you can actually ask questions, any English language questions of these AI agents. You could say, hey, around this deal that I'm looking at, could you help me understand what are some of the key pain points? So if you're doing a pipeline review and you're hearing certain things, the deal is in commit, but you want to understand what's actually happening with this deal, you can get an independent data-driven perspective from this AI agent, where what I'm showing you is a pre-populated list of questions, but you can type any question in here and ask those questions. And this is the type of stuff Wiz absolutely loved, which is why they deployed it. They're using us for activity and relationship intelligence, and many other parts of the product as well. So with that, Julia, I'm going to wrap up here and see if there are any questions for us.
Thank you so much for the demo, Bharat, and thank you, David. I've been following the company for, I think it's scary to admit, but like 10 years or so. And since you were actually evangelizing guided selling as a concept before it was a thing with Forrester, so really huge fan of the platform and your vision. Let's address a couple of questions from the community here.
Thanks, Julia.
One of the questions I'm seeing is basically around ROI and how long does it typically take for teams to get onboarded and seeing measurable ROI?
Yeah, the onboarding process is pretty quick and simple. This last year we implemented NetApp, and as part of the selling process, they asked us how much time was it going to take, and we said, typical implementation's 4 to 6 weeks, and it was actually a stumbling block because they thought we were being deceptive. We implemented 3,300 users in 5 weeks. Wiz, I think we implemented them in 3 weeks. Contract to go live 3 weeks. So it's quick, it's fast, it's low calorie from the customer perspective. Our team does all the work.
David, in terms of competition, how do you even define it now? Is it Clary? Is it like what are the players and how do you differentiate?
Yeah, I thought Forrester's report last year was very interesting. First off, we were very excited to be recognized as the capabilities leader. Another interesting point is there are no CRM vendors on that. Microsoft wasn't on it. Salesforce wasn't on it. Oracle wasn't on it. There were players like us, players like Gong, players like Clary. Um, it's and I think how we differentiate and where we win is if there's complexity. One of the big value props of the Aviso platform is we're not bound by the hierarchies in Salesforce. So if you want to do a product forecast, great. If you want to do unborn pipeline, we can do that. If you want to look at partial opportunity layers, overlays, if you have multiple CRMs, if you have disparate CRMs, you can only do that in the Aviso platform. So if you just need a simple roll up, we encourage our clients. If Salesforce works for you, great. If a spreadsheet works for you, great. If you just need a simple roll up and your hierarchies are great, go with Clary. It's a great tool. I've used it in the past. But if you have complexity, if you're looking for AI driven insights, that's where we win.
Amazing. And yeah, one of the questions we're receiving here is how does real-time guidance from Aviso actually show up for reps during a live deal cycle?
Right?
Yeah, there are many ways in which it shows up, Julia. One of those is the notifications I was showing at the beginning of the demonstration through our agent Mickey. So these notifications show up, and you can then drill into these notifications as the rep and ask questions. That was one of the primary reasons Lenovo chose us, because reps are busy with a lot of stuff. How do you help them find the right things to focus on, right? Everybody talks about efficiency, 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 but the game has changed with these AI models and agents. Now it's about productivity. And a definition of productivity that I learned in business school was efficiency and effectivity. And effectivity is a function of revenue. And revenue happens when you focus on the right things at the right time, right conversations, right relationships. One other differentiator I will quickly allude to in answering this question is Aviso has been on a path to build an integrated platform for last 4 years, which includes relationship intelligence, ask me anything capabilities, conversational intelligence, and overall forecasting and deal guidance. We've been doing that for a long time, and we've been on that journey to build all this organically. Other platforms in the market are approaching the same thing through acquisitions. And I was at Salesforce for about 8 years. Acquisitions can lead to different code lines and tech debt. All sorts of issues can arise for customers. We do see some of our competition copying some of our ideas around time series architecture we've had since day one. Those things sound great on marketing collateral, but then eventually when it comes to forecasting and numbers and deals, rubber has to meet the road. So a lot of customers find that they go forward with pretty looking platforms that were designed for commercial or mid-market or SMB companies. But then when they have to report to street, they have to have numbers that actually match. And that's where they need the insights, because Aviso's been focused, as you said, for the last 10 years in a singular fashion on the AI and predictability, and that's where we shine, along with incorporating the latest and greatest, like the LLMs. We see models and picks and shovels. Our approach from a compliance standpoint, we followed this since day one, and others in this space tried ChatGPT, and we've had that feedback from our customers, and they've had to redo. But it's an interesting space. We have a unique point of view, and we have a unique vision in this space, which has helped us so far. So that's how I would address that.
Julia, thank you for the opportunity to come and present today.
It's our pleasure. Let's just address one more question and wrap this up. And the question is around non-negotiable integrations in order for this to run smoothly in a typical enterprise stack. What would be your recommendation, Brad and David?
Well, we always start with CRM. That's our historical roots. Let's ingest historical CRM data into our algorithm, let it do pattern matching, let it develop a predictive model of what does closed won and closed lost look like. But then as Bharat mentioned, we've added other signals over time. So I would say obviously CRM is number one. Number two would be email and calendar. It's a very rich, juicy signal for deal success or failure. We don't have to rely on the subjectivity of what a seller puts in CRM. We're looking at, like, if Bharat has a deal in commit next month and there are no meetings on the calendar, or there are no emails going back and forth, or there are no verbal conversations, our AI is going to say, Bharat, how are you going to close a deal with no meetings? How are you going to close a deal if the only conversation you've had is a discovery call, or we're hearing competitors, or we're hearing objections? We're not seeing negotiations. We're not seeing close plans. We're not seeing plans to implement. So I would say those three things: CRM, email, calendar, and conversations.
Amazing. Anything to add, Bharat?
No, David covered it quite well as always.
Awesome. And what's the best next step to learn more?
Please feel free to reach out. My email is david.watson@aviso.com, and we'll be happy to help you.
Amazing. Thanks again. And that brings us to the end of our 3-day summit. Thank you so much to all the speakers, to all of you who was watching, attending the recordings, sponsors. Had a blast receiving a lot of positive feedback from all of you. And we'll be back in June 19th for AI practice sessions. We are also on a mission to build a stock market of skills. So just feel free to book a one-on-one with majority of the sponsors and speakers that you're seeing on the summit. And yeah, stay bold and agentic. Bye-bye.